My name is Jeremy Hutchinson. I live and work in London. I primarily make installations, and I'm very interested in commerce and industry and the economy. So I went to Ramallah with Delphina Foundation Art School Palestine for 2 months, and my primary focus was I just wandered around industrial estates, looking at factories, talking to people, going to shops, and that was really how I started to engage with the situation in Palestine. My background is in linguistics. I studied linguistics and subsequently worked in advertising. So I'm interested in sort of the construction of reason and logic and how things are communicated, how we come to understand things. And often those are very sort of structured and logical. I'm interested in sort of undoing some of those structures, sort of, unreasoning the world. Going to the Middle East, to Palestine is interesting from that angle because this is a place of myth where you have these clashing stories and all this reason. You have, the Temple of the Rock is the place where, Muhammad ascended to heaven on a white horse, and God made Adam out of the dust. There are so many clashing stories that result in centuries of bloodshed and violence. So I guess I come from this angle of looking at these stories, how cultural myths are told, and then how they can be reshuffled into sort of strange new formulations. Because obviously my position, when I go out to the Middle East, I look around, I talk to shopkeepers, I see checkpoints, people with submachine guns, watchtowers, and then I come back and I make my own myths, I tell people stories. So I become very implicated in this process of myth making. So I suppose the most honest angle is to, rather than trying to become sort of depoliticized and like take a sort of, step back from the whole situation, I decided just to plunge myself into the whole myth making process, to just engage with lies and fictions, half-truths, fabrications. So I've basically designed an installation called Fabrications around this idea of sort of strains of truth but distorted through various processes. I'm really interested in production and consumption of objects, how things fly through space, how we consume them, because if I go to Palestine, I'm obviously a consumer like anyone else, so it's a good place to start talking from. So I worked in various sort of industrial and commercial environments, designing situations that would slightly tilt the ordinary reality, hopefully to express something of the Palestinian situation. So I worked with a jeans manufacturer, and I commissioned this manufacturer to manufacture jeans that represented what it was like to manufacture jeans in Palestine. And the result is a series of distorted and twisted and very sort of odd looking jeans. Their factory used to be incredibly, it used to manufacture jeans for Marks and Sparks, for Diesel and Jordache, and subsequently they've had all their sort of all their lines of export severed by various political structures, and so it was an attempt to find a way that they could sort of express some of these complications through a sort of material means. The work I'm showing in the ICA is hopefully a little more poetic, because I don't want people to come and feel like they don't know about the political situation and that they haven't done their homework. I don't think art should perform this sort of that kind of function. So it's a more poetic sort of articulation of my experience of Palestine, which is a place of confusion and myth, and where things don't really make sense.